Welcome to the Business After Hours, where the ties loosen, the suit relax, and we talk business without the boardroom. Grab your favorite drink, kick back, and let's dive into the world of business after hours.
All right, welcome back to the Business After Hours podcast. Here with my co-host Jared and our guest Bill. How are you gentlemen doing this Friday afternoon?
It's almost Thanksgiving,
Awesome.
right?
Yes,
Close.
Yeah.
we're ready to eat.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. How we cooking the turkey this year? That's the
Brian,
question. Frying? You, Bill?
No, we're traditional, man. So
Okay.
first of all,
Okay.
I love to cook. Anything that is cooked outdoor or grilled, smoked. I'm your guy.
That's it.
I have offered to smoke a turkey every year, and I get declined. So everyone wants
Yeah,
the traditional turkey.
really good though. That's
That's
hard to pass up.
Yeah, I know, and yeah, fried too. The deep
Yeah.
fried. Oh,
No, I love fried turkey.
Fried's my favorite, and smoked
Yeah.
turkey's right behind it. So, well,
Yeah,
Bill, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and your company?
Yeah, so so I'm co-founder and CEO of a company called FetchGoat. So what FetchGoat does is so we built a technology that works with enterprise companies, large enterprise companies that use multiple delivery partners, which is about every company out there. We have we do a lot of stuff in healthcare, where healthcare uses a lot of different providers, like for example a laboratory or a hospital system. The supply chain is huge with them because they got all the clinics that are around town. They have to pull all those specimens from all those clinics and other hospitals and offices. They have to pull all those specimens and get them all back to the central lab for testing, and they do that every day, 7 days a week,
Right.
and mostly, but they do it all manually, and it's a manual process, and that's not because the hospital system is broken or the healthcare company is broken. It's because on our side, on the delivery side, with all the providers that are out there, they all use different technologies. So they have a dispatch system that they use for their drivers, but every company uses a different dispatch system. So that leaves, it's good for them, right? Makes them more efficient.
Right.
But for for all the multiple customers that they use, they don't have the same system, right? So they have all these different providers using all these different systems. So the only way for that healthcare company to manage them is to do it manually. Telephones, email, and so that's how they communicate back and forth with the carriers. And so we looked at that as being really wildly inefficient, because I came from the delivery side. So I was one of those delivery providers for the healthcare systems for about 30 years. And I started when I was 8, for the record. So so we looked at that and said, okay, well, can we make this more efficient, for the healthcare providers, and so they don't have to do it with a bunch of people, which they do today. So I teamed up with some guys I worked with, software engineers, and we whiteboarded it and said, hey, can we do this? Can we solve this problem? And so they said, my co-founder Chris his standard answer is anything's possible. And so and he's right. And so we built FetchGoat. And so what FetchGoat does is we're more of I say like a supplier relationship manager, right? So we have a layered application that sits over the top of all of their delivery providers, and then we aggregate all of that delivery data into one dashboard for the healthcare company. So that way they can manage everything in one place and see it all in one place: what's coming in, what's going out, when it's going to arrive, if it's even going to arrive and make it on time, how many specimens they have coming in. But all of that we do for them, and it's all done through a single dashboard. It's AI driven. We have our own proprietary AI, and that AI does all kinds of predictive analytics, and it does predictive stuff. Like if there's a storm coming through, for a particular area, and that area goes on flood watch or tornado warning or whatever, those areas that have deliveries, they're notified. And so the AI does that. And so it's all happening with no human interaction. So the system's just automatically sending emails or automatically making a phone call or text, however they want to be notified. So short answer, we build some really cool shit. So
that's nice. So outside of the medical field, where can you expand to?
Anywhere. So any industry that uses multiple delivery partners, which is every industry out there. So we have active conversations now in aerospace, retail, with a ton of different industries. We are right now, we are attacking the healthcare industry because we have a lean and mean team, but we're attacking the healthcare industry because we've had so much luck. And so when you have one very large logo or a couple of very, very large logos that we've done, we can point to that logo and say, hey, look, we're doing this for this company here, and which means we've been vetted by that company. We've been through the contract stages with that company, and which is really hairy. And, and we're compliant, for that company. Then other healthcare organizations look and go, okay, well, if it's good for them, it's good for us. Let's go. And so that's the reason we're focused on healthcare now. But we apply to multiple industries and also multiple countries. So we're now we are tracking goods and services in 29 countries.
Wow.
What about some of those smaller countries that maybe not so sophisticated?
Screw them. No, I'm kidding. No, it's actually very beneficial, right? So they're not sophisticated, so they don't have to necessarily do anything. They don't have to notify anybody. Soon as they issue that order that's coming back into the hospital system or healthcare lab, then we automatically pick that up through an API, so they don't have to do anything. And so, which the cool part about it is they get notification that yes, it's going to be picked up, that it's en route, that it actually delivered. And so where they had none of that capability before. And so we're doing our best to make both sides more efficient, right? So we want to make the organization, the healthcare organization or aerospace organization or whatever it is, we want to make them more efficient by letting their folks do what they're supposed to do and not send emails trying to find out where their stuff is, right?
I guess this is a really great example, honestly, because we get a lot that, and I'm sure you see it out there, that AI is going to come in and cost jobs, and it's going to, but everybody we've even had on our podcast say it's not going to cost jobs, it's going to enhance jobs, it's going to make more jobs more efficient. Sure. And this is almost a prime example of making jobs more efficient and not eliminating positions.
Right. Yeah, no, you're exactly right, Jeff. Our use of AI, we have a proprietary AI. And so the reason that we chose to have a proprietary AI is when you go to, fill in the blank that you see advertised out there, like ChatGPT or one of the other big public AIs, and you share a spreadsheet, like your financials, and you want them to give, hey, take a look at these financials and give me a summary. I mean, it happens so fast. Or in some cases, hey, take a look at this contract and tell me the pitfalls of this contract. So when you do that, that becomes public information. So now that AI has the knowledge of your financials and they have it stored. So due to the nature of, the sensitivity of the data that we're moving, we don't do that. We have a closed AI in a controlled environment, and it doesn't leave the four corners of our data center. Essentially, it's just driven on machine learning is what AI is. It's machine learning and an application to help make that really powerful.
And I guess people don't know that because I'm learning it that open AI is public information now at that point, because you got social media people telling people to put their resumes on there and have them write it. I mean, like, you're talking a lot of personal information and whatnot being on there that I don't think people understand that I didn't realize it was public like that.
Yeah, no, yeah, it is. It's public information. It's there. It's out there for the world to see. If then once you can get to it. But there's some smart people out there.
Yeah,
very smart people
you
out
were
there.
kind of telling us about it. How many hits attempts do you guys get a day?
So the cyber attempts, we get between 1 and 3 million attempts at our system a day, and I was talking to our chief security officer, and I was asking him about it because I'd come from a conference and they were talking about how it's growing and they're using AI now, right? So it's not even human beings doing it, man. It's computers attacking computers, and so I was like,
well, we're gonna run into problems.
And he says, right? He's like, do you know how many times we get attacked a day? And I'm like, I don't know, a couple hundred. He was like, try between 1 and 3 million.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
It's nuts.
Which goes to show you that the only reason why they're attacking that hard is because the information that you're carrying, obviously, and you're relaying is very valuable.
Could be, yeah, could be. I think the biggest thing for them is they try to hijack your technology. They want to hijack it and hold you for ransom. And but it's something that security is something we take really, really seriously, obviously. And just for that reason there, because we're the nature of what we do, we're moving some sensitive information, potentially patient data, and
how does one identify who is on open AI and who is on closed AI?
I'm sure there's a way, but I don't know how they determine which is which. But I guess the difference would be that if they try to attack us that way, that they're not going to find us on the public, right? So
I'm talking about more on the consumer level, because like if I'm doing business with a company that does AI, because obviously becoming popular, I want to make sure that they're on closed AI, not an open AI.
No, that is definitely something that you want to ask. We make it very, very clear with our customers and prospective customers that no, our system's closed, and for that exact reason. Then we enlighten them. Like we just had that conversation.
Yeah.
Then we enlighten them, and they're like, "Oh, hold on a second," because
that's a pretty big deal.
It's a really big deal, because think about now all of the people throughout the world that are using those using the various AIs that are out there, and they're doing the same thing. The intentions are good, right? They're trying to be more efficient in their job, but if they upload a contract or they upload financial information or reports to have AI summarize it for them, then they're putting themselves at risk, unknowingly.
Wow.
So,
yeah, I didn't realize that.
So who's been harder to work with, the delivery companies or the hospital people?
Man, that's a good question. So it started out the delivery companies on one side were skeptical. And what they were worried about was they were worried that we were going to expose, true on-time performance. And, that's what they were really worried about. And so, we had to sit down with them, and most of these guys and gals I know, because they were competitors and industry friends for years, and so I would just call them to no, this isn't about that. So it's not about that. And matter of fact, it's going to look terrible when we turn it on. And so every customer that we turn it on, the first thing I ask them is, hey, what is your on-time percentage? Oh, we run. Our group of carriers that we use, we run about 92 to 95% on time. I'm like, okay, we'll see. And then we flip the switch and we bring all the data in, and they see that they're 40% on time.
Ooh.
And so,
Makes you wonder
However,
what metrics they were using.
Right. But so here's how they got to the 90 to 95%. So when they go and they do performance reviews, they're getting reports from who? The delivery providers, right? And so the delivery providers is bringing their data up, looking at it, going, okay, we had a storm blow through this time, so we can't count that one. So they're taking all that data and they're shining it up real nice and making sure that it all looks good, and then delivering it to the healthcare company, and they're looking at it going, hey, great, you met your KPI. And so when we start moving the data through, the data doesn't lie, right? The data is the data. Right. And so what happens is they are given a delivery window, right? Every stop has a window that it's supposed to be at. And so what I mean is, like a company, like a big laboratory, like a LabCorp. So they're going to, think about how big they are. They're going to every doctor's office and clinic in every city of every state in the country. And their drivers are going through and picking up the specimens, right? So when you go to the doctor and have your blood drawn, they pick up the specimens, they go back to a central lab. So when they do that, it's, if they're late, that's okay. It's okay to be late. It's not okay to be early. You can't be early because the specimens may not be ready. So they all have a delivery window. And that window is usually a 15 to 30 minute window that driver needs to arrive at that location. And so they know that the specimens will be ready at that time. And that's the agreed upon window that a LabCorp would have with that clinic. And so they have that delivery window. Well, what happens is, on the delivery provider side, they don't necessarily have that delivery window in their data. The driver knows it and it's written down, but it's not in the technology. Right. And so the way it shows up is they have a one minute delivery window. So, or a 0 minute delivery window, because they don't have one that's in the system. And so that means if they're supposed to be there at 5 p.m. and they arrive at 4:59 or 5:01, they're late. It doesn't. And so, that's the very first thing that we look at. We bring it up and it says, okay, well, hey, this particular provider is showing that they're 30% on time. It's like, okay, well, first thing we look at is the delivery windows. We get the delivery windows straightened up, and their on-time percentage shoots up into the 90s. And so,
okay.
Yeah. So we help them fix that stuff.
Does it also show the poor performers that, you kind of want to, move away from and find somebody else?
It does. It does. And luckily we have not had that situation yet, where, that's not our intent, is to get some delivery provider in trouble. The intent is to have them.
Right. You need the company to be efficient.
Right. Yeah. Right. You help both of them. And the other cool thing for the delivery providers too is, once we get that data, because we pull all of that data into the system, we clean it, and we can push it back to them and say, okay, upload this. This is a clean version of what it should be. And so they upload it and everything's straightened out. But the big thing for them, the other big selling point is, imagine you're a small regional provider and you're doing business with a behemoth like a LabCorp. And then, think about, if you're doing several areas, you got phone calls from all the other, LabCorp facilities that are calling and inquiring about, hey, the driver didn't get here on time, and what is this? And I need a quote for this. And hey, I got 2 pickups. You got all these different departments that are calling into that delivery provider. So they have to hire a team of people just to answer phones, customer service. Right. So when they launch FetchGoat, all that goes away. We reduce those inbound calls by 67%. Calls and emails, we reduce them by 67% because all the data is right there in LabCorp's hand.
Wow.
I apologize if this is too personal, but what when you're pricing out your fees, do you also charge the delivery people a fee and the hospital, or is that part of your selling point that it's free for the delivery people?
No, great question, Jared. The coming from the delivery side, that is one thing that we were adamant about is we will never charge the carriers. We'll never charge those folks because they're the ones doing the work, right? They're the ones doing the work, and they're the ones
Right.
making the least amount of money on, and so we want to make both sides more efficient. So we work off a subscription based. And so, so the healthcare provider, our customers show or they pay a subscription fee, a monthly subscription fee, and that's all encompassing. That takes care of all the analytics, the AI, you name it, takes care of the whole thing.
Awesome.
Wow. This has been enlightening. Honestly, I didn't know about the closed AI and the open AI. I'm still new and learning all this, but then also to know real life examples that AI can help be more efficient and not eliminate jobs, because that seems to be the number one fear of a lot of people, is that AI is going to come in and replace jobs.
Yeah, I think what will happen, I think there will be some jobs that will be replaced with AI, and that's just my opinion. I think there'll be jobs like they said paralegals, customer service reps, things like that, things that the AI can genuinely do. Some analysts, right? And the paralegals, that one was surprising to me, because you would think that, gosh, they would need to, that's a profession that they would need to know. But when you're working with AI, and again, I'm not an expert at all, but I work with some really, really, really smart guys and gals. And so they've taught me, a lot, how to deal with, how to write proper prompts in AI. And so when you're working with AI, the biggest thing is to write a prompt. You got to tell AI, this is how you need to interpret the data the question I'm about to ask you. So you tell it, you are a prominent attorney with a focus in real estate law, and basically you tell it, this is how good you are, right? And then you give it the prompt. What I'm looking for is, we're looking to buy a piece of property, and here are the situation of the property and the price and the location, and you can feed all that, but you have to tell the AI how it's supposed to behave, and it does that. So those are called prompts, and then you have, after the prompt, you have the various agents. So like so we have two AIs. We have a customer facing AI, and then we have an internal facing AI, and the internal facing AI, we use that internally for development. Our developers use AI, and they use it because AI can write code so much faster than a human. And also when you're developing code, you also have what's called code notes. And so that tells the next person down the line that, hey, this string of code, this is what this string of code means. And so with AI, and it also, that takes time. That takes a lot of time to write code and then go back through and write the code notes, and developers hate it. They despise that. Well, with AI writes the code notes right along with them when they're developing the notes. And so we got way improved efficiencies, with that. But, with the internal AI, we have different agents that we've trained. So and what I mean train is, we train it, we feed it data and write the proper prompts and tell it who it is. So we have one for marketing, right? That helps write marketing. We have one for legal that helps write legal. We're able to reduce our legal expenses because instead of getting a contract and then lobbing it over to an attorney, and then spending $500 or $1,000 for the attorney to look at the contract and make recommendations and redline. So we can take that and deliver that to our legal agent internally, and then ask them, hey, review this document and highlight areas of concern. And then we take those areas of concern, and then we send that over to our attorney. And so it's reduced legal fees by amazing amounts.
Wow, that's crazy.
And,
I mean, I see what you're saying though.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so we have another one. We have some general ones. We have some fun ones. But yeah, for the most part, they're unlimited. You can train them to do whatever you want. It's crazy.
Well, Bill, give us a little plug in for your company, if you will.
Yeah. So FetchGoat. First of all, you can find us. Best place to find us is obviously our website. You can fill out information, and we'll be happy to give you a demo of the product. But if your company has multiple delivery partners that you use, and you're managing those delivery partners manually with people, and you want to save costs, you want to drive your costs down, then you can reach us. You should reach out for us. You can also please come follow us on LinkedIn. We're very active on LinkedIn. That's a good place to learn more about us as well.
Awesome. And we'll have his website down below in the description to hyperlink it so that easy to click it. Jared, you got anything?
No, I'm just glad it's Friday and that next week is Thanksgiving. No, I'm just kidding.
That's right.
Again, Bill, thanks for coming on. It was a real pleasure. Definitely, I love AI, and so learning more about AI is always interesting. Things that I didn't know. So thanks again for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime, guys. It was a pleasure. It's an honor.
Absolutely.
So thank you, and happy Thanksgiving to you both.
Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, Bill.
Okay.
Welcome to the Business After Hours, where the ties loosen, the suit relax, and we talk business without the boardroom. Grab your favorite drink, kick back, and let's dive into the world of business after hours.